fractions. Do I have common denominators? Okay, so what do I do with the numerators, Connor? I add them, so 5 plus 3 is? Over what? So what's your final answer? Thumbs up if you got 1 on the first one. Okay? The next one. Jagger, do I have common denominators? Yes, so what do I do with the numbers? I add them, so if I have 1 negative and 2 positives, do I have more negatives or positives? How many more? So it would be 1 over 9. Thumbs up if you got that. Okay, I see a few of you are erasing. Make sure, so the book always writes your negative out in front of your fraction, but I always rewrite it on top so that I can see that is a negative 1 and then plus 2 over 9. Okay, if you had something like 1 over negative 9, you can still move that negative to the top because 1 over negative 9 is the same as negative 1 over 9, and then you could add your fractions after that as well. So all of these things mean the exact same thing. You can move the negative wherever you want it to, and it all means the same thing as long as you just have 1 negative. Make sense? Okay. Number 5, do I have common denominators, Parker? Yes. Okay, so what do I do with my numerators? Add them. How did you rewrite it as an addition? Or did you? You didn't? Did anybody rewrite it as addition? Jasmine, how do you rewrite it?
I wrote it as negative 11 over 15 plus negative 10.
Good. Okay, so we change it from subtraction, and then we make it the opposite. So negative 11 over 15 plus negative 1 over 15. So Parker, what'd you get for an answer?
Negative 12
over and what did you reduce by?
negative
3. So negative 12 divided by 3 is?
4.
Negative 4 over 15 divided by 3 is? 5. So negative 4/5. Thumbs up if you got that. Okay, fix it if you didn't. Okay, on number 6, I have a mixed numbers. So Taryn, what do I need to do?
Multiply 2 and 9 and then add 5.
And what do you get? Good. Plus, what about this one, Harley?
Oh, I did not do that.
Well, what's 1 times 3?
3,
Plus 2.
5,
Over what?
9.
What's my denominator?
Oh, 3.
3. Okay, do I have common denominators? No, so what do you want to use for a common denominator, Adriana? Did you say 9? 9. So then what do I have to multiply this by?
3.
And then I have to multiply the top by 3, so I would get what?
15.
Okay, so I have 23 ninths plus 15 ninths. So what do you get for your numerator?
30.
Connor says 38. And then over 9. How many times can 9 go into 38? 4. And what would you have left over?
2 9.
2 ninths. Thumbs up if you got that one.
Make sure you're asking questions if you're not getting these.
I actually got it. I did it before, but I got it.
Okay. Number 7. Same thing. I'm going to go ahead and erase this word because it's getting a little messy. Number 7, change my mixed number to improper. Lily? What? So 4 times 8 is what? What? 32 plus 3 is? What? 35 over what? 4 minus Change the other one for me, Kaylin. Twelve times 2 plus 5 over 12. Okay, do I have a common denominator, Trent? I do. What can I use for a common denominator? 12. So what do I have to multiply 4 by to get a common denominator? 35 times 3? What? 105. Over 3 times 4? Minus 29 over 12. When I subtract, what do I get? Over 12.
And make sure when you rewrite those fractions, you keep them in order. Because some of you would just write, you have your 29 twelfths, and then you would change 35 fourths over 12 right beside it. Well, if I take 29 minus 105, that's different from taking 105 minus 29. Some of you were doing that yesterday. Rewrite them in the same order.
Yep. How many holes can you make out of that? 7? What's 7 times 12? 84, so that works. Okay, so 7, and then what would you have left over? 2 out of 12, which simplifies to 7, and because I divide both the top and bottom by 2. It's not right.
It can also go on to 8.
What can go into 8?
Teacher taught. 12.
105 minus 29 doesn't equal 86. That equals 76.
It equals 76? It equals 76? Why didn't you say anything with Ben then? I'm going off of what you guys tell me. So 76, so then that would give you a right or a different answer. So how many holes can you make out of 76 over 12? 6, so what would you have left over? What? What's 6 times 12? 72. So how many would I have left over? 4 over 12, which does equal 6 and 1/3. Because 12 divided by 4 is 3. So if you see a mistake up here, make sure you shout it out so we don't get to the end and get a wrong answer. I don't have a calculator up here. Well, I guess you guys don't either, but I don't have a multiplication chart up here either. Next one. Change the first one into an improper fraction for me, Paul. Good. Minus. Change the next one for me, Zed. Three times 1 plus 1. 4 over 3. Do I have common denominators?
No.
No. What do you want to use, Connor?
6.
Okay, so what do I have to multiply this one by?
2.
So then I would have 31 over 6 minus 4 times 2 is
8.
over 6. 31 minus 8. 31 minus 8 isn't 24. 23. Over 6. How many times can 6 go into 23 without going over? 3. And what would you have left over? Number 9, the table at the right shows the fraction of the state that is water, order the states from least to greatest with the fraction of water. What can you use for a common denominator? You can You can multiply them all together. That's going to be ugly. What is half of, let's change them all to decimals then. So how do I change 3 and 41 to a decimal? 3 divided by 41. How many times can 41 go into 3? Can't, so I add a 0. How many times can 41 go into 30? Can't, so I add a 0. How many times can 41 go into 300? 7, let's try it. 41 times 7, 7 times 1 is 7, 4 times 7 is, so that should work, yep. Okay, so we have 7, subtract 287. I'm going to pause there just because we have at least 2 decimal places. So right now, this one is 0.07 or about that. Michigan. Looking at that, 40 is about what of 97?
2. Yeah, about 2.
It's about half, right? So let's say that this is about 0.5 because that's a half as a decimal, right? It's not exact, but it's about. And then 1/6, 1 divided by 6. How many times can 6 go into 1? How many times can 6 go into 10? Once. Okay, I'm going to stop there because all of my tens places are different. So which one has the least? Alaska, because it has a 0 in the tens place. Then what? Wisconsin, and then Michigan, which makes sense because they have Lake Michigan. Questions on that? That one's kind of tricky.
I just guessed by looking at the fractions and how much it would be.
Yeah, you could estimate.
And I got it right.
Number 10, the maximum height of an Asian elephant is 9 8/10 feet. What mixed number represents this height? How do I write 9 8/10? Kaylin?
9 and 8/10.
Okay, can I reduce that,
Yes.
Peyton? By what? What? 2. So what do I get when I reduce by 2, Peyton? 9 and 4/5. So that's your final answer. Questions on any of these? Your test over this is when?